We do have one thing off the top to talk about. And that one thing we're going to talk about off the top is this. Rob, the Martin Scorsese thing is back in the news again.
Yes.
So for those of you, let's recap quickly. A couple months ago, Martin Scorsese made some inflammatory comments about Marvel movies and comic book movies aren't real art. They're not cinema, blah, 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 blah. He has since realized, I think, the error of his ways, and there was no need to make those comments, and he's kind of backtracked those a little bit. Now, I started getting a bunch of people tweeting me and emailing me about Martin Scorsese again, saying, did you hear that Scorsese's at it again, John? He's trashing comic book movies again. I'm like, really? Because I thought he was backtracking a lot of that stuff. So here's the article that is in question here. So Martin Scorsese was doing an interview with, I believe, the New York Times, Rob, and he was asked directly about Joker. He was asked about Joker, and basically he said that he didn't see it, but that he saw clips of it. And he says, I know it, because, of course, he was one of the guys initially who brought the film to Warner Brothers with Todd Phillips. He goes, I know it, so it's like, why do I need to see it? I get it. It's fine. Is kind of his comments. So I had some people writing to me, Rob, about these comments and saying, oh my gosh, he's at it again. Doesn't this make you furious? And I'm going to tell you what, to be honest with you, I don't hold these comments against Martin Scorsese, and here's why. This isn't like Martin Scorsese called a press conference and said, everybody, I've held it in long enough. I need to let everybody know how I feel about Joker. I didn't even watch it. I saw clips. It's fine. It's not like he did that. He was doing an interview, probably about Irishman, because he's about to get some Oscar nominations for this film of his. And he was put on the spot and directly asked about it. He didn't lie. He didn't say, yeah, I saw it, when he didn't. He says he saw clips, probably just clips of his buddy Robert De Niro, and said it's fine. Whatever. When the guy is being put on the spot and he's just got to answer like that, I think quite often I'm guilty of this, and I think a lot of film fans are guilty of this. I think when we hear a comment from somebody, we treat it as if that person made a decision to hold some press conference and announce to the world, when sometimes it's really just a matter that they were kind of put on the spot by a reporter asking a question. They just answered something off the top of their head, and maybe it was the best answer, maybe it wasn't. So for me personally, Rob, I don't have a lot of problem with what Scorsese said, and to me, it's kind of a non-issue. How do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, I read the whole article, and it is a fantastic profile of Scorsese. It's if you're a fan of movies and want to hear the master speak about where he's at in his life and his career, it is an essential article, and I would encourage everyone to read it. And in this article, he really addresses time and mortality and how much time he has left as a filmmaker and what the meaning of The Irishman was. And it's pretty melancholy. And I think that, when you have a guy like Martin Scorsese who's had a career for the better part of more than 50 years, and he's done so much for restoring old movies. I mean, I remember seeing him speak when I saw restoration of the Red Shoes that he was responsible for. He's done so much for movies and film history that I think, if you want to get mad about his comments about Marvel and maybe not seeing the Joker, because, how much time does he have left? And that's kind of what he addresses. And I think that Martin Scorsese has earned all of our respect and all of our admiration, and he's only ever enriched the film landscape. And I would encourage everybody to read this article because it's a wonderful piece. So.
Right, but the one part that people are naturally going to try to pick out and throw it out there, and I get it, I get it, because, listen, Scorsese put himself in this position with his comments before, and I get it, but honestly, I really don't think there's anything wrong here. He was put on the spot, he gave a quick, honest answer, and I really don't think it's a lot for us to need to talk about, but a lot of you guys wrote to me about it, so we did talk about it. So the question is, guys, do you think there's actually something here that should be discussed, or do you kind of feel like me that maybe it's much ado about nothing? Jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.